Well, the Ghana Education Service, again, just wants us to put all things right, all right? Not necessarily that double track has been eradicated, so to speak, but they've reversed the calendar to the October to December cycle. That is up to speed with everybody else. And so make sure you give us all the things that you can give us. We have a first caller. Results are out. If you're a parent, a teacher, what do you make of it? And then what needs to be done? Are you prepared for your ward to go to school? Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mejina calling from Sunyani.
Mejina from Sunyani. Please go ahead. How are you, sir?
I'm good. And
great.
You?
I'm well. I hope you had a great weekend. Please go ahead. What do you make of the BECE results latest, and then also October, December, the cycle returning, and how parents should prepare for the new school year?
Thank you. God willing, my daughter is part of those who are to take part in this new reforms that have happened.
Okay, great.
First of all, I have to thank the Educational Minister, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, since he became the Education Minister. His performance has been very wonderful. Looking at how he takes some of the actions, look at the education ladder, or every sector, the man is really performing. He shows concern about the need that Ghana needs. And if he's bringing back us to have the full attendance, like not going to be what you call the shift system, I think it is best. But I will ask the education minister to focus much on rural areas. Rural areas really suffer a lot when it comes to educational facilities, access to basic needs in the school. These are some of the things that we need to put our concentration. Something like electricity and the rest. It is really affecting the rural education. But when they are going to write the exam, you all write the same paper. You don't say this is a rural paper. But we put them into disadvantage. It is not the best.
Okay.
So this is what I will urge the
Mejina, have you checked your what results slip yet?
No, I am about to do so. I'm about to do so.
Make sure you get that voucher and then check. Okay, which school will she be going prospectively?
Until the results, you cannot determine.
Yeah, it's true. The results determine. Yeah, the results determine the school. Is that not it?
Yes, please.
Fantastic. I wish you all the best for the day, Mejina Kwesi from Sunyani, helping us do the discussions, calling in from Sunyani. Well, the BECE results are in. If you're a parent, you're a guardian, what do you make of the new? We'll apprise you of some statistics, all right? And that would also mean that a number of indicators year on year as to whether we're doing well as a group or as a country for that sector of education. The students also haven't gone through and the pass rate, etc. So please make sure you stay right here. All right. And so, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, this is Jerry calling from Hawkway in the Volta region.
Jerry, please go ahead. How are the residents of Hawkway? Which part of Hawkway are you?
I'm at Hawkway, Bogume, opposite the High Court.
Bogume, I think I know that area. Please go ahead. What do you make of the results of the BECE? Do you have your wards going to the new school year?
No, my ward will be writing BECE next year, but my main concern is about we single track teachers. I'm in a single track school at the Coutinho High. We've been in school from 23rd April, and we are vacating 19th September, and we are resuming again 11th October. That is my main concern. We are not resting. Single track teachers, we are not resting. So I'm very happy that it has been reversed. So we'll be having our long vacation in February. 27th February, when we vacate, again, we'll have our long vac. So I'm just happy that the calendar has been reversed, but single track teachers, we are not resting. That is my main concern.
Okay. So not necessarily that we have the double track off, right? So what they've said is that they've done some level of transition. So you're going to have your holidays, and it's true for those of you who are on the tracks, you tend to suffer a lot. You're very stressed, etc. All right?
Yes.
And that's let me say good morning to Mr. Ohineba Chum of Presec Boys Legon.
Okay.
Great man. And wishing you all the best for the day as well. Fantastic.
All right, thank you very
And
much.
Jerry, thank you for the call as well. At least we know that at least you, the teachers, you have at least all things in the right perspective and appreciate what goes on in the education sector. Again, we'll apprise you of the latest statistics. We'll be putting that on the screens for you. And I will tell you, well, which papers have been cancelled, etc. But in the meantime, let me just by, even without the graphic, just tell you what we have by way of what the publications have been from the West African Examination Council. And so straight away, for the BECE, as I await your call, we have Alaji already on the line, and there's every indication that we've had a certain trend behind the cancellation of results, okay? So we'll apprise you, or we'll tell you what that is, so to speak. All right. Good morning, Alaji. Where are you calling from? Hey, Alaji, Bini Rebochale Desaba. Gomshe. Nah. Go ahead.
Let me send my greeting to my boss, Chief Audu Sofa Zoka, Honorable Samuel Fosso Ampopo, and Chief of Staff, Honorable U.S. Debra, and Dr. Abdul Roland,
yes, sir.
when you look at that, this our education system. Now we have a new governor and we have a new education minister, Honorable Haruna Idrisu Bango Sawale. You see, I think we can change the things because if you look at the past and they collapse our education system, now how step can we take to have that double shot? And Honorable Haruna Idrisu tell us that in 2026, 2027, thereabout, I think the double will be abolished, and that's what we need. And we need to look about this thing. But the results, I think, will get the good results because past government and the entire the distance to the students. So past questions to the students. But I think they will use their common sense to answer the questions well. So let's pray for the government. Maybe the education sector will go well for us. And so I thank you very much. What's my cookie tea? Where is she?
Yesterday she did Ghana's most beautiful yesterday up to the night, so she's tired.
Okay.
So she needs to rest for today.
Because if I greet Shemi Mamuse, I did not greet cookie tea. You will take it through. So
I get you. So if you greet Shamima Muslim and then you don't greet Cookie Tea, matter go come. No be so. Alhaji Bini Rebushale, I wish you well for the day, okay? And let me say good morning to a couple of you. Prince Nani York lives in the UK. Say for the people of Akwitia, they just have to make their green if they want development, better roads, and a fair share of the national cake, whilst the research agenda is ongoing. Not that MPP constituency will be developed, but if you know, you know. Akwitia be green. That's Prince Nani York giving us a message from the UK. And then we have Prince Henry Kofodia. Good morning to you, Prince Henry. I think you were typing something. And Lawrence, where are you calling from?
Big farm.
Oh, right here in Accra.
Yes,
Great. Big Famian. Yes, good morning.
Good morning. It's good news for reversing the academic years. But my problem is in a situation where children will be going to school, then they have to buy the whole world, including Jesus, angels, and the Holy Spirit, putting a lot of pressure on parents. And some even end up going to school buying nothing. So government has to take a look at this situation where school authorities will be mounting pressure on parents to buy everything. Things that even the students don't meet in the school, which some of them even become white elephants in their actual boxes.
But Lawrence,
yes,
is it not the responsibility of parents to be buying items for their awards to school?
Yes,
because
I agree with you.
Because the schools have a baseline items that they buy. So if you buy more, that is your own wahala, is that not it?
Roland, let me tell you something.
Yes, sir, Lawrence.
Two of my children went through the system. One is even there still. When we got the items that they asked us to buy, when we went there, somewhere it's not even needed. That's what I'm talking about. Somewhere not even needed. So I don't know. So government has to put a standard prospectus, not from the school. Yes, that's what I mean. This system is putting a lot of pressure on parents.
Right.
Yes. So it's good news reversing the academic calendar. So this is we're on our way to secondary schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one way to secondary school. We're not buying unnecessary things that they are demanding from our students, our awards to be.
All right.
So,
Lawrence,
Roland,
did you go to a boarding school?
Yes, please. I went to Kita Secondary School.
Okay.
Yes.
I wish you all the best for the day, Lawrence. All right.
I wish you same.
Great guy. And I love your contribution as well. Very instructive. All of us need to have that opinion constructively to be able to improve public discourse, so to speak. Now, Henry Nikwe, good morning. He says that all the things that are happening are due to the decisive policies of the John Mahama as well as Nana Jino Pukwajman government. And the education sector being led by Haruna Idrisu is also seeing a lot of light and development and improvement because of a certain focus and intellect and experience that is brought. So say happy birthday to my son who celebrated his birthday 5 years today, David Ni Okaya Jamil Kwe from Henry, your father. And we already have Idris. Idris.
Yeah, Roland.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling you from Upper West Region. Wow.
Okay, wow. Please go ahead. That's Rafik's area. Please go ahead. The results are in. What do you make of now the school year going to be from October to December, being reversed, so to speak?
Roland, let me say good morning to the Upper West people in the local language. While I am Suma 24 Lana. Roland, yes. Roland, anytime when I speak while on TV3, it took us 1 week that TV3 has been training in the Upper West Region.
Okay, Idris. Is it the same language that Dr. Zato speaks?
That speak Sosale.
Okay, that's right. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Roland, we thank the Education Ministry for restructuring the system for us again. And you know, everything is about timeline. You understand? If you know that this is the timeline for your children to have BECE, and this is the time you are going to receive the results, and this is the time you are going to buy the items for the children, I think there's not going to be much pressure on it. But the biggest issue is that Roland will get the Education Ministry that they should look at the items for the children to be buying. Example like mopeds like this, Roland. If you go to most of the secondary schools, he doesn't use the mopeds there. If you go to most of the schools, they doesn't use this washing shop there. So they will tell people to buy. People wouldn't want to get 200 leaves within 2 months to buy their items. You understand, Roland? So we want the Education Minister to talk about this thing. They will send some of the things to the school, they will be in the market to be sold. And it is a lot of burden and burden for some of the people in our northern sectors, example, Roland. So we wanted to look at it.
Okay.
But what I want to say in conclusion is that we want now the teachers to give everything to everybody and have time for the children and talk to them very well. Because everybody is not getting fees from his money. And it is a very good thing. And parents should be having time for their children. They should be visiting them again. You understand? In the school. Because Roland, it is not time for education to implement the children's association. PTA at the secondary school, it will have to be compulsory again. Now we need our children to go back to school properly.
Okay.
You understand? But let me say good morning to the Upper West MPP chairman, Elijah White.
You said the Upper West MPP chairman.
Yes.
Okay.
Roland.
What's his name? What's his name?
Elijah White. He's a very active man in the region.
Elijah White, MPP chairman.
Yeah, Elijah White. It's Elijah White.
Elijah White, MPP chairman, Upper West region.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Idris. Okay. Thank you very much. This one is coming from Gordon Anim of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Says, good morning to you. I'm just loving the content and the program this morning on TV3NewDay live from your studios. Please make sure that you continue the good work and say a happy birthday to Mrs. Sarah Anim, who is my beloved mother living in Koforidua. Mrs. Sarah Anim, you celebrate your birthday today. Your son, Gordon Anim of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, says that not only is he loving TV3NewDay this morning, but also wishing you all the best as you celebrate your birthday today. Mama Wu of the Asogli State, great lady, great queen mother. Happy day to you. Wishing you all the best for the day. We have a couple of messages. We have a couple of messages, so I'll come and read. Kenzie, I'll come and read yours very soon. Kenzie, good morning to you. And Alaji Awal.
Yes, Roland.
Awal, where are you calling from?
Yeah, I was from Bimbila place.
You're calling from Israel?
Bimbila.
Bimbila, please go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to great His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for the good work he's doing. We've seen what we're in the previous regime, and he has taken the bull by the horn and doing lots of things for Ghanaians. And we really appreciate him for all that he has done within this short period. I think within this short period, the exchange rate, everything is down, and Ghanaians are enjoying. All I'm just going to advocate for the people of Akotia is that they should try their best and vote for the NDC parliamentary candidate there, and he will deliver a lot of good days for them.
Wow, what's your message? You are not commenting on our question. You are giving shout out. Please go ahead.
I can't hear you, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that I just called to thank Ghanaians for the confidence they have reposed on the regime, and I'm telling them that the regime is going to deliver the goodies. And as I just said, the candidate for the Aquitia, she was voted, and he's going to deliver everything for them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much as well. And, well, we have, again, the comment section always open. Please make sure you join us. I have this one from Osei Boateng, who says that kudos should also be given to the former Minister of Education, that is Osei Yaweduchum, who currently is also vying to become the presidential candidate for the MPP, for, again, starting the process to reverse the calendar. And I tell you that the right things will be done as it is. We're still waiting for your calls. But this one is coming from Kenzie. Good morning to you, Adam. Wishing you all the best. He says that NDC should not just reverse academic calendar, but totally revise education in Ghana, particularly pre-tertiary education. I have to tell you by way of experience that the current curriculum in senior high schools, for instance, should be taken a second look at. Sincerely, it is a no for most of us. Cheers to you and your viewers this morning. Well, great guy. Kenzie, wishing all the best to you. And we have more comments coming in. And so this one is coming from Kwame Idinkra, who says that John Mahama and his education minister, Haruna Idrisu, are really doing well for the education sector. What needs to be done is to make sure that there's a conscious effort to also take parents along. One thing I've experienced is the recomposition of the Parent-Teacher Association. it used to be a situation where only parents would be contributing and making decisions at the school level during the start of the free SHS period. They were facing issues and difficulties, but nobody could say anything about it. However, I'm very sad that a school in the Volta region had the headmaster being interdicted just because the media reported on a subject. And that thing was reported by you, TV3. So why are you keeping quiet over it? That school is starts with the name V. Okay, I can't pronounce it myself, but I know that I watched the story. I saw the Ghana Education Service release on the subject. I think I know Faisal did that story. It has to be Vakpo, the Vakpo Senior High School. And, I'm saying good morning to all of you who are watching us, especially Shurabil Abubakar, who is a special aide to the Minister of Education, Harun Idris. So Shurabil, wishing you all the best for the day. We have more callers coming in, please. Good morning. Who do we have on the line? Good morning. Abdul.
Yo, where?
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Majekojo. Good morning.
Oh, that's my area. Our road, oh. We'll come and do the road there. We're taking a look at roads.
We are fed up with them.
We are fed up, eh?
It's so easy.
Please go ahead. Make your contribution.
Okay. Yeah, Roland.
Yes, sir.
I want a school resuming on 18th.
October, yes.
Yeah.
It is good news, is it not?
Yeah, it's a good news, but at least the candidates whose results has just come in, it's like the government can make it fast so that the school's placement too can come faster.
Okay.
At least we, those who have to prepare, who have several children who are going to school, we can arrange ourselves before the date. Because sometimes they give the deadline very close. And if you have 2 or 3 children to go, and the deadline is very close, to prepare them to the school is something different.
Okay. What's your name again?
Yeah. Abdul.
But Abdul, you know that if let's say you have 2 children, 3 children going to school, they have basic needs that cut across all schools. And then maybe their ration or the food they'll be eating or the items they'll be taking. So you prepare for them. Then there will be things like maybe peculiar things like schools that have particular school uniforms or house dresses, etc. Those are the only things you prepare for. And,
yes, it's true. But at least they should bring it earlier.
Hey, Abdul. All right, thank you very much. It's also a point to be noted. Ni Odate Milt, you are in Finland. You're an ardent watcher of the show. And then also Kwesi Mensah is in Albany, United States of America, New York State. Wishing you all the best for the day. I see all of you on stream. Ifu Antoinette, but a great lady. And wishing you all the best. She lives in the UK. And Abladefie Kuma is a regular. Ni Odate, I see you as well, and then also many other related people, Mani and the rest of the team who are on the stream. We'll be having some great discussions this morning. Foremostly, we'll be talking about the Akwitia by-election. What are the stakes? Because amid all of this, the 2 candidates have been campaigning, and when it comes to the MPP side, they've been having a lot of interactions or confrontations among each other when it comes to the presidential candidate. Is that also going to affect what the public opinion is, the narrative is, as they campaign for this election? We already have another caller. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, the name is Clement from Ho.
Clement from Ho. Which part of Ho?
Yeah, Ho, Sumitan.
Okay, please go ahead, Clement.
Yes, we were listening to the old academic calendar. Is very good. Good, and another thing that's very good is the inclusion of the private schools.
Right.
Yes, absolutely, to broaden the base so that more kids can go to more schools, reduce the pressure on the schools.
Okay. Do,
Yes.
do you have any child going to school this year, or somebody in your family
Yeah,
going?
I have a cousin who is going.
A cousin, okay. So make sure you support your cousin, your cousin to go to school. All right.
Yes, sure. We are doing that. Yeah,
All right. Just teasing you, by the way. Okay.
yes.
I wish you all the
Greetings
best.
yes, sure, same. And greetings to my MP, Honorable Adam Kotosu.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you very much as well. And Viscos Gades as well says that I'm watching you live from Wasnet Flat and wishing all the best. And Namia Cardison as well. Michael Wazinga, good morning to you. I see you. Make sure you join us for the discussions thereof. And we'll take it all up to 9 a.m. Again, today, we're live in Kumasi. Ibrahim Abubakar giving us the states of the Sofo Line project. And you know that it's been on the books as long as many of us could remember. Lawson Jandu, great guy. Also always watching up. Philip Obochi from Keta. Kwame Oseboateng from Kede is also watching. All of you, please, I have to remind you, we have Cashout. It goes with the short code star 439 hash. Choose option 2. Increase the number of tickets you have. Become one of those lucky winners. And please, you will be fine. Now, this one is coming from, it said, read for me, sir. This one is coming from MK Erickson. MK Erickson, been a while. He says, those nurses and midwives union leaders who are all over in the media issuing threats to the public, that is including journalists, that if they've forgotten the nurses pledge, I have this simple statement for them to ponder over deeply. A nurse today, a patient tomorrow, and a midwife today, a pregnant woman tomorrow, or a woman in labor tomorrow. Thank you, Erickson, MK. Very interesting there. Alhaji Jibril, National Secretary, I've already mentioned your name, but again, let me just mention again. And it says that it's good that we have the reversal of the education calendar. Make sure you say good morning to Edmond Combat, the Managing Director for the Tema Oil Refinery. And we have more comments coming in. I say, Courage Kotoka says, visionary leaders knew the capabilities of the NDC and the MPP during, and Mahama during his first reign as president. That is why some of us, you say, will never lose hope in him. MPP, you say, will remain in a position for a long time. Courage Kotoka Logan Lashibi. And, okay, so, Ejay Kodria says that, I don't see you discussing the Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and then Brian Champon trading tribal words in their campaign in the run-up to their presidential election. You should talk about it. All right, so we'll talk about it. We'll add it to the Akwitia discussion this morning. And then Kofi Aloy, good morning to you, of the state of Aloy, Pando. Good morning. He says, of Relaxed Court Car Wash and Pub in Pando. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest when it comes to all things, discussions, current affairs. We're talking Akwitia, we're talking MPP primaries. We're also taking a look at the Bagri Dam and the issues thereof. Look, please make sure that you join us right up. Araba Segwa Money, good morning to you. And then also going to your husband, Mr. Chikata. We are taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you all things, discussions, current affairs, and Edem Agbana and the rest of the team, they'll be joining us this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, for those who have joined us, we encourage you, make sure you share our stream. It is very important you do share those streams, because without you, we wouldn't be in a position to be getting those views as the well. Let me say good morning to Chairman Prosper, Smart Shipping Company Limited, great man. And then wishing also all those who tend to work at the Ministry of Education. And for the second hour of the program, we will be discussing the subject matter of the newly released and reversal, first release of the BECE results. If you have those wards or children who will be going to the new school year, based on the result they have, will be determining the type of schools they'll be attending. At least by now, you should be preparing, be entering all sorts of markets. Makola right here in Accra. If you're in Kumasi, please get to the nearest business center, Idum and all that, be buying and preparing yourself. Please go to Kotokraba if you're in Cape Coast. Metakradi market is also available. If you're in the Volta Regional Capital Hall, please, the whole market is there. A nice edifice, could be expanded though. So we're all advocating for, and get your wards ready so that you can get them ready to go to school. But in the first instant case of the issues we'll be discussing, we'll be focusing on Akwetia. The by-election was at stake, looking at the internal wranglings of the opposition, New Patriotic Party, and you know there's been some tirades throwing jabs at each other. We're talking about Brian Champon as well as many of their compatriots and their opponent, Dr. Mahmoud Bami on one hand, etc. From the Ken camp, they also say get connected. I don't know how it is, but for all the things we have to do, we also have to. And so quickly, if we just have to just brush through what we have to do with the BEC quickly, and then we'll stay on the subject, but just one word for everybody else. And then we'll be having Musa Dankwa joining us, because he tends to monitor the polls, etc., and has been monitoring a number of indicators in terms of how well the government is performing, etc. Please join us. As always, we have some great people we have to acknowledge. They help us make the program tick. Very important for us to do so. So I see already Prince Daniel York, many of you, Isaac Opong, Joe Asase, Evans Ibn Samba, Kwesi Mensa, as always, is a regular joining us from work. Witty, Mauli Witty, I see you. Money and the rest of the team. We have Cashout. It goes with the Shoko star 439#. Join us as many times as you can. Choose option 2, increase the number of tickets, and become one of those lucky ones. We'll do the draw. Please, let me see you cashing out, so that for those who will be having their children going to SHS, my time we used to call it senior secondary school, yeah. Transitioning from the old system, Charlie, but now it's SHS, Gen Z era. Ni Jasi, Nani, I see you, Abuchi Samuel as well. Please share the stream. Let's have some great conversations thereof. Dr. Tutu Boahin is an analyst, also lectures with the University of Education. He's here. Good morning to you, Dr. Tutu Boahin.
Good morning, Papa.
Bernard Tutu Boahin. And then Lawyer Pia Dankwa. Good morning to you. How are you? The amnesty is still open, MPP. We'll discuss that after we've talked about WAEC. Okay. Still open for you, the movement of change, defected members of the MPP to come back. And then, of course, the Member of Parliament for Ketu North is right here. Edem Agbana bought some assets, supported the students. I've seen you share computers as well,
yeah,
laptops.
last week, laptops.
Last week.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And your students have their results in. How's
Yes.
the constituency buzzing like for the BEC? You know, the result just came. The Ghana Education Service, with the instrumentality of the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, they have decided to reverse to the normal calendar for all school cycles, so that Ghana will be in tune with West Africa. What do you make of it as well?
Well, Roland, good morning to you, to my brothers, and to our cherished viewers across the world, especially to the good people of Ketu North. And let me thank them once again for the support always. Roland, a number of things happened on the education front last week, and I think that it is only right for us to commend highly the Minister for Education, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and his Deputy Dr. Apak for the great works that they are doing. apart from the fact that they appeared before the Public Accounts Committee and assured us of some reforms that they are undertaking to sanitize the education sector, especially with regards to salary payments and the fact that our brothers and sisters who were employed or recruited by the previous government but have not been paid, the over 5,000 teacher trainees, the Deputy Minister, Dr. Clement Apak, gave us firm assurances that they have worked on it and they continue to work on it. All that is left is some clearance from the Ministry of Finance, and those 5,000 people will also start receiving their salaries. It is important to say that there were about 15,000 in number, but government has been able to onboard over 10,000 of the teacher trainees. So I'm using your platform to appeal to the rest that they should be patient with us and give us the support so we onboard all of them. Because, Roland, it is a challenge we came to inherit. Because of politics and because we were approaching the elections, the erstwhile administration recruited them without financial clearance. So we inherited the situation, and it has been a challenge. We've seen a number of them picketing at the Ministry of Education, asking that government must pay them. We have accepted the challenge. Over 10,000 already have been properly fixed into the system, and the rest of the 5,000, Roland, will have their challenges resolved in the coming days. And so we give them that assurance. BECE results are out. We are urging all parents and teachers to take keen interest in the checking of the results and the selection of the schools, because we have undertaken a number of reforms at the Free SHS Secretariat with regards to the school selection system. Nobody, and I must say again, nobody should pay money to anybody in the name of protocol to be placed in any school, because we have a fair system in place. If your ward is qualified for the school that he or she wants to go, the system will automatically give them those schools. We have seen in the past people who have been Goro boys for this SHS placement. We are issuing a stern warning to everyone that in this year's school placement, I have been informed by the Minister of Education, I have been informed by the head of the Free SHS Secretariat, the Honorable Benita Sena Okitidua, that they will not tolerate any Guru boy in the system, where people will go and take monies from parents or from students, innocent students, promising them that they will place them in category A or B schools. Those things will not be tolerated. Anyone who will engage in any of those activities will be arrested. Roland, the results are in, with some reports of malpractices and some results being cancelled. Some schools' results have been cancelled entirely. Some subjects' results have been cancelled and all of that. WAEC, GES has given us the assurance that henceforth, they will be prosecuting teachers who aid students to engage in these malpractices. Because if you prepare your children or your students for BECE, why do you have to aid them during the period? Leaking questions to them, allowing them to copy each other and all of that. These things are criminal. And we have to be very hard and offer some sanctions, okay, until they see that people are punished for these malpractices beyond the innocent students' results being cancelled. Teachers who are involved, supervisors who are involved, and all these invigilators who get themselves involved in this malpractice, beyond suspending them, some of them must be jailed. So it serves as a deterrent. We need to have a fair system, because we are preparing these students to become future leaders. If at this basic level, you are already teaching them these unlawful acts of corruption, stealing or engaging in exam malpractices, what kind of future are we preparing for them? So we need to pay attention to some of these things. For us in Ketu North, we are still monitoring the results. I made an offer, a promise to my students that anyone in Ketu North who will record a single digit or a single number, single aggregate I will fully sponsor all the materials or everything they need to buy before they go to senior high school.
You're going to do one?
Yeah, I will sponsor every student in Ketu North who will record a single aggregate. So 6 to 9. And for females, 6 to 10. We may consider 11. And we are doing this to...
You're going to sponsor
inspire,
their...
So, you know, we have free SHS.
Yes.
But before they report, they need to buy some items. So from what we call chop box and the trunk and all the shirt, there are a number of things that the schools, we call it prospectus, that the schools give them, that they must buy. So if you happen to score between aggregate 6 and 10 in Ketu North, just bring your prospectus. My office and I are ready to sponsor you. It's a promise we made to them before the BECE. And so today we have been busy waiting and speaking to some of the headmasters that every student from their schools that got this course, they should refer them to us, and then the sponsorship can go. Well, we need to do a lot as a country to bridge the gap between the quality of education being offered in the rural areas and what is accessible here in the urban centers. Roland, when you go to some communities, say come to some communities in Ketu North, for example, students who have never seen a computer are expected to write ICT exams and compete with some of the best schools that we have in Accra, where some of them, computer is like a toy that they have played with from their childhood. So right from the beginning, the system is not fair. There is that wide gap, that disparity that we need to address. And I think it's important that government interventions must be tailored towards addressing the disparity. So when we are treating the challenges that basic schools are facing, we need to understand that those in the rural areas are confronted with bigger challenges than those in the cities. Roland, for many of the schools, even in the rural areas, for some of them, you have 1 or 2 teachers taking an entire junior high school. How do you expect them to compete with some of the best schools here? Check the results. And so when you check the results, it is difficult to see students from the basic schools in the rural areas recording some of the best grades. So how can they also go to some of the category A schools and what have you? Government must take this matter up. And I have been an advocate for that. Now look, we need to clearly roll out a policy that will bring or elevate the basic schools in the rural areas at least closer to the level that the schools in the urban centers. We are looking forward to President Mohammed's fulfillment of his promise to pay 20% allowance to teachers in the rural communities. I know the ministry is working on it. I will plead with them that they should facilitate or expedite action on that so that teachers who accept posting to rural communities will earn some 20% more than they are earning now. That will serve as a motivation to those who will be accepting posting to rural communities. But all in all, Roland, our educational system has seen some significant changes over the period. And I'm happy that today the timetable, the school's calendar is back to normal. In the past, it was as though we had traffic lights in our educational system. It was clearly difficult to now distinguish when students will come to school, when school reopen. I'm happy that we are putting things back on the path of progress. And I want to commend the ministry for the good work that they are doing. Roland.
Well, and again, I think that's very instructive as well. For those in Ketu North, Edem, as Member of Parliament, is saying, based on the assistance they could give, if you get those aggregate from 6 to 10, at least for females, possibly if the numbers are not up, they could go to 11. But at least for the males, 6 to 9, you will be supported. So your parents or guardians could be supported so that the baseline items that you need for school, not the excess ones, the surpluses. You know, people just overbuy too much tin fish, or the children don't even need, and so they don't feel motivated to go to dining, to go and eat the gas oil and all that like we all used to. It's funny, right? But what do you make? Just your 2 cents on this. Then we'll quickly move to Akwitia. On, you know, because so far the statistics we're having does indicate, Shadra, just put it on the screens for us so that we will put that into perspective. on the numbers that seem to have their papers cancelled, it used to be high up from 2016, 1,000, 2015, 1,800 in excess, reduced subsequently, and so now we're seeing 895 now. So is it due to poor invigilation or perhaps student non-learning, etc.? So I guess WAEC has become more strict or stricter. That's more a superlative to use.
So let me wish your lovely viewers a good morning and wish yourself a good morning. Always a pleasure to be in the company of my good professor and honorable here. Hopefully we can have a very good discussion. Also, I see this result. I see the result saying that over the past 10 years, even though issues bordering on cancellation of BECE results have reduced, we are seeing some form of increase from there. What I don't know is the reason for the stated reasons for the cancellation.
Yeah.
As in,
so usually they have a report.
Yeah, they should tell us the
WAEC,
results.
so,
As in, because
so it will come out.
I don't assume that the reason why they are cancelling their papers is because of what's called because of cheating. Even though it looks like that will be the likely reason. I want to stand with honorable on this position that in the issue of this honorable act, the focus shouldn't just be on the children, but the focus should also be on the schools, on the teachers, on the invigilators, and the need for us to let sound a signal that where you cheat, then there's going to be what's called some form of a replication to serve as a deterrent to people who may want to indulge in this very dishonorable act of attempting to cheat the system. As myself, I'm very interested in how this BECE goes. It's been more than 31 years since I finished I wrote my BECE, I think 11th August 1994. In those days, it was 12 papers. And I stand right now is what 8. When I wrote BECE, were you a BECE person or you?
Yes,
you
I'm a BECE.
A BECE.
Yeah.
You were part of the 12.
Yeah.
I
wrote a year after you.
95.
Yes.
I wrote 94. So 12 subjects. Right now is 8. I have a problem. Our education system seems to be too
I think they've gone now to.
It went to 10,
10,
went to
12,
10, went to
before,
12,
yeah.
went to. Yes, it's too chaotic. You understand? And as in, I think over the past 8 years, the chaotic nature of education even went through an overdrive.
Still 10.
But when you wrote it was 12.
Yeah, but it's 10 now.
It's 10 now.
Well, some write 9. Some write. I think it depends.
Okay, so
on
so what the result I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yes. 10. I also have a
10.
result here. It's for 10.
Yes.
Okay.
So we wrote 12. Right now it's
You wrote 12.
Yeah, I wrote
Okay.
12.
All right.
Yeah. So I think our education system has been too chaotic. As in, we tend to also extend our partisan nature into educational system. I'm just hoping for some form of consistency in terms of policy, in terms of the focus of our educational system. Also, we need to, as a matter of agency, try and find a way of bridging the gap between the education system or the situation in our rural areas as against our urban areas, and is to give all of our children the best chance of being truly educated. And so I wish the minister all the best. I see that he's still some discussion on the double track system. I also see that he's given a definite date as to when school is reopening. I think that's quite refreshing because over the past 8 years, there was so much chaos in our education. You couldn't even plan. And so they are good steps. I'll encourage him to take bigger steps. And like you rightly said, find a way of bridging the gap between what pertains in the rural areas. And as because education is so critical because see, we keep on talking about value addition. For human beings, your value addition is your education. So we need to take it very serious. let's add immense value to our human resources, because they're the best resources. They're the people that will drive the transformation agenda of the country.
All right, we have Musa Dankwa, so let's wrap it up in 2 minutes, quickly as possible, on this one. What needs to be done? Because we still have, all of us is still interested in having Cambridge curricula, because curriculum for our children, because it guarantees some safety net, so to speak, for you to attaining the best, so-called, of higher education. Yet this is what we have. How can we improve what we have?
I think that, let me say good morning once again to my co-panelists. You see, Roland, the first thing remains that, you see, at the formative age of students, all right, the kind of burden that GES, actually is putting on. I'm raising this point because you've mentioned curriculum, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's too much burden on our children. All right, 10 subjects. It's as if you were in secondary school those days. The O-level system, A-level system. And sometimes when we see these children, going to school, the kind of bags they carry, and the stress on them in the classroom, to me is too much. What do you need? I think that the GES should look into this, reducing the number of courses that they take, especially at the basic level, all right? And that is where you get the children, to learn very well, experiment, do extracurricular activities, to actually put their mindset very well in shape, all right? Go to the Western countries, and you will see that emphasis is placed on very few courses. The rest become extracurricular activities like ICT, sports, and other stuff, all right? For me, look, let me move from there and then get to certain aspects, which to me I think is very important. If we can get our children to do very well, and Roland, for them to desist from some of these examination malpractice. Those of us at the university, a lot more lecturers will confirm what I'm saying, that the kind of intelligence, in our lecture halls gradually diminishes over the years. And it is because a lot more schools would place emphasis, especially the JHS and SHS levels. They will place emphasis on students passing exams rather than students acquiring knowledge. All right. And to me, that is very bad. You wouldn't get a student sit before you making, or talking to you and putting up sentences together, and will not make a mistake in 2 or 3 sentences. Grammatical errors, phrasal errors, and all that. And sometimes we don't understand it. When it comes to their writing, so poor that you, the lecturer, you have to think for them. Should that be the case? All right. And you realize that when you get to, some of these basic schools and SHS levels, look at the kind of textbooks that are given to them. Some of them full of mistakes. Most of them, it comes with questions and answers. So all that these writers are telling you is that get the shortest route to learning. Emphasis on going to write your exams, passing the exams, and moving on. You see, so I feel that it is not good for us. GES must invest, in teaching and learning materials very well. And Roland, teacher motivation and teacher quality, especially at the SHS and then GHS levels. I think that government should look at it. And that is one reason why I feel that this, what is it called? The teacher licensure exam, should be looked at in its holistic sense, all right? And not necessarily come up with a policy that will put it off. Okay. And I feel that that will be a second check to some of the teachers in the classroom, because on a more serious note, most of them are not supposed to be there. That is a fact. All right. Invigilation, when it comes to examination, Roland, sometimes it is an eyesore. Very much. I mean, when GHS, SHS people are writing exams and you move in there to see things for yourself. And so, for me, what the statistics that WAEC has put forth, you see, apart from the fact that lawyer is saying that they should come up with explanation, I think that they should put measures in there. You see, this issue about cost cutting when it comes to invigilation and supervision, to me, I don't get it. And this is it, Roland. You realize at a point in time that, look, I'm talking from experience, and this is what I want to say, that, you see, when it comes to supervision and invigilation, if you don't invest, obviously you get weak students copying from the stronger students. That one is a must. Because you can't be in an examination hall with one person supervising over 100 students, and we think that the person can do so much well. All right, obviously you are exposing them to some of these, corruptible activities. So for me, I think that WAEC should come again. In future, they should let us know, or they should make us see that they are putting proper measures in place to check examination malpractices. What I am gathering and seeing is that, you see, at a point in time, the people who mark, the examiners who are marking, if they compare answers between 2 candidates or 3 candidates, and then they see that they appear to be similar, then of course it calls for certain measures to be taken against these students.
Okay.
All right. Yes. In examination, you see much of these things, even at the university level. All right. But that equally suggests that these students have copied, one another or something. All right. I think that when the system is too weak and too loose, all right, certain things will happen which probably will not enforce the quality of our education. So I will not put the blame just on teachers, students, and staff, but I think that the examination body, WAEC, should also do its best to ensure that, look, some of these things will be curtailed. For me, I think that just saying that you have cancelled a child's exam, you are exposing that particular child to future hazards. And I think that there should be a second look at it.
All right. So the Deputy Minister of Education, Clement Apag, just sent me a release from the Ministry of Education that was signed on the 18th of August. Again, serving as deterrent to all teachers and supervisors who aid students to cheat. And the outcome will be that they will be prosecuted. And again, thank you for those reminders. Clement Apag, the Deputy Minister for Education. I have, before we move on to the next one, this one is coming from Ralph in Kumasi, who says that, as much as I appreciate Edem Agbane's sponsorship, why the disparity in the grades? What men can do, women can do better. I don't think the women should accept the second fiddle thing. Let's treat them a mano, as Baumia put it. But I think that the intent is to make sure that we breach the gap. It has to be...
It's an affirmative action.
Yeah, so it has to be a deliberate action. But Ralph, thank you for that. ACP Cephas Arthur says he's been watching the show. Thank you, ACP Cephas Arthur. That he loves watching you as well. You know him personally?
No, but I've spoken to him.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's not my friend. He's
Okay, but you
solid
guys
guy,
are acquaintances.
Yeah.
Elliot Ogbe as well says that after listening to my brother Edem's submission, I can confidently say he's doing exceptionally well. I wish him an even brighter future ahead. I'm proud of him, and indeed Volta is also proud of him. And you said I should read the message. I've read the message. All right. Okay, so we'll be getting to John Kapi, the public affairs boss for the West African Examination Council. Mr. John Kapi. 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 Mr. John Kapi.
Hello.
Okay, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, we've seen the release, so to speak, but in your own report, based on the assessment you've undertaken, what's accounting for the numbers accruing for the cancellation? They seem to be getting up in excess of 800 compared to the averages over the last couple of years, 400, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Basically, it's because of the excessive use of mobile phones in the examination hall. A number of the candidates are now resorting to sneaking into the halls with mobile phones, and that is one major offense that would certainly attract that kind of, punishment.
Mobile phones. But I thought your rules of engagement deter the use of mobile phones. How do mobile phones get into examination halls that are under the remit of the West African Examination Council? Mr. John Kapi.
So basically, one of the rules about the examination is that before the candidates go in, the invigilators should search them thoroughly before they go in. Unfortunately, we suspect that the searching is not properly done, or that there is some kind of connivance between the invigilators and the candidates, and that is what is making it possible for them to sneak into the halls with the mobile phones.
So I presuppose that the West African Examination Council then has been in a position to prosecute or perhaps arrest supervisors who flout these regulations. Have you? How many of them are they?
So there were some arrests in the course of the examination. These were not directly either supervisor. I think there was one supervisor who was arrested, and then another assistant who was arrested because of this mobile phone infractions. They had taken some pictures and were posting on social media. They were arrested immediately, and they have been prosecuted. For these others, what will happen is that we'll have to go further into the cases and then report them to the Director General, because the teachers are not under our employment, and so we cannot take any punitive action against them yet.
All right. There's a peculiar mention of the students or candidates in the Kusa area, Boku, Zebila, Pusiga, and all those places. During the period of the examination, there were concerns raised by the students themselves as well as key stakeholders there, including parents, that the conflicts perhaps put them in a certain dire straits. Security for them to write. Did you give them some considerations?
Well, usually because we want to ensure the validity and reliability of the tests and the results that come out, we initially would find out whether the environment for the people is conducive. As we were about to start the exam, we spoke with all the stakeholders within those areas, and they all admitted that, yes, it was possible to write the examination without any interference or without anything that would adversely affect the candidates. And so we went ahead to write. Normally, if you decide to maybe use a different marking scheme for different categories of people, then you cannot justify, the reliability of the test results that come out. And so all of them were assessed on the same level.
All right. Well, we do know what the case is. And so for those that you have cancelled, withheld, you know that there's a case law regarding WAEC, so to speak, and then somebody who was aggrieved and also bordered on the principle of natural justice. Did you take that into consideration before you decided to make those cancellations as high up the numbers as we're seeing?
Yes, we did that. First of all, what we tried to do was to ensure that we had educated the people adequately for them to know the do's and don'ts of the examinations. While we spoke to a number of them, we also provided flyers, we provided posters to all of them. And so for any candidate to have their results cancelled, they probably would have known the rule and yet chose to flout it. For those whose, there are others also whose subject results we've cancelled. Now, for those subject results, it is either that they had foreign material on them, and that, of course, is against the rules. The ones that we withheld, we are going to hold engagements with them. We want to call them. They can come along with their parents, come along with their teachers, whoever, but they want to present to them the evidence that we have against them, and then they would have the opportunity to answer based upon which we can take a decision.
All right. Mr. John Kapi, Head of Public Affairs, the West African Examination Council, we're grateful for your time this morning, right?
It's my pleasure.
All right, Mr. Kapi there, giving us the latest update. We will call on him as and when we have to expatiate on the conversation, so to speak. But in the meantime, we have to transition into our next conversation. It's about Kwetia, all the internal wranglings of the MPP that seem to be also dovetailing into the narrative of the campaign message. You know that there have been tirades that have been traded among camps. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, on the other hand, seemed to be asserting that he is the victim because Brian A. Champon's video seemed to have popped up. And since then, a number of Facebook messages have been what we call in local parlance, buzz being traded between some elements in both camps as well as others as well. But Musa Dankwa is a known poster. He's executive director for Global Info Analytics, now famous for undertaking a number of polls, not only on politics, but also all subjects within the market. Good morning to you, Mr. Musa Dankwa.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, and this subject matter of the narrative, the campaign, so to speak, for Akwetia, how crucial is this? I mean, are the stakes really high, as we tend to be seeing on Facebook particularly, or even X? Or even worse on Twitter, because those are videos where people share opinions and sometimes the language is unregulated, so to speak, very vulgar.
Right, thank you very much for having me. Is Akwetia critical? I think for the NDC, it is not. They don't need Akwetia to do anything in government. But for MPP, yes, they need to win Akwetia. They must win Akwetia. They can't afford to lose Akwetia in the midst of this restructuring and reorganization. So for them, Akwetia is a must. And Akwetia is a must also because they need to start putting some brake on NDC's popularity. And Akwetia could offer them the chance to do that.
How's it looking like? Both candidates, in the run-up to this, what type of message have they been selling? I saw the MPP candidate saying that Akwetia is a mining town, and so the conversation should be premised around what the needs of the people are, what policy advocacy for the sector would be. It's being misconstrued to mean that he's talking about mining, and then because there was a tirade, or he made a comment that it's not law we're talking about when it comes to Akwetia, so to speak. How is that influencing opinion in the run-up to this?
No, Roland, if you look at the polls we conducted recently in Akwetia, the top 3 issues were development projects, cost of living, and education. And then you have Galamsey distance 4th. Now, he has chosen to pivot on Galamsey, mining, because that's what he thinks his strengths might be. But even on Galamsey, it doesn't cut across the entire constituency. There are certain electoral areas where Galamsey for them is a do-or-die affair. If he was making those comments in those areas, then he is on point.
Okay.
But if he's making this comment across the constituency, then that could backfire, because elsewhere, the top issues were development, cost of living, and quality education. And if he doesn't address that, if he doesn't address those issues, then I don't know how he's going to win.
But you can give him credit, won't you? Because the NDC candidate is not talking either. He's not available on TikTok. So at least he's been the one talking. And he's the one we're listening to.
Well, I have not been following the campaign quite strictly on the ground. My guys will be going there this Wednesday. I will probably have more feedback when they are done.
Okay.
But so far, I mean, TikTok, sometimes it's the algorithm that makes you see what you want to see. Maybe the algorithm is not allowing to see the NDC candidate. But I don't think he might be quiet. Even he is quiet, his party will not be quiet on social media.
No wonder I've seen Julius Debra, the chief of staff, and everybody else seem to be flooding the constituency, giving some considerations to what their needs are, even making promises, etc. But the substantive issue will be, and that is going to be phrased in this question, that the positive accolades of the John Mahama Nana Jinopoku Agyemang government regarding how well they have managed the economy, and then also extending to governance generally since they came into power, how is that likely to influence somebody's choice in this by-election?
It would play a part, definitely to play a part. Now that they are in government, who have seen what they have done, if they are happy with it, they will reward the party with another seat. Now, if you look at the approval of the president in Akwatia constituency, about 46% approve and 40% disapprove. But you could see that the MPP's candidate at the time was doing about 3% better than Mahama's approval rate in the area, which means he was getting some benefit of his personal popularity in the area. Now, the problem for MPP and for the candidate is that they are not doing well across every part of Akwatia. There are areas that they should be doing well, and they are not doing that well. And that could be the problem they will face in the by-election. Now, if people's perception about NDC performance should permeate in the parliamentary candidates, then that could give the NDC candidate a boost in the polls.
That thing about areas and pockets of police station, I don't understand. Explain to me.
No, Akwatia has about 21 electoral areas, but the key ones are Wenchi, Bodia West, Takrasi, Bodia East, Apinaman, Kwame Kuma, Topreman, Kusi, Amamfrom, Saddams, and Okumani. Now, if you do well in these 10 areas, certainly you will win those areas. At the moment, in the poll, when we did head-to-head between MPP's candidate and the NDC's candidate, there are certain areas you could see vulnerability for the MPP's candidate. For example, in Apinaman, Apinaman is a strong MPP stronghold, but at the moment, their candidate is behind in the polls there. They cannot win Akwatia if they lose Apinaman electoral areas.
But so far, you seem to give MPP the edge. I mean, slight lead.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The edge they have is because of three things that we've observed in the polls. They are ahead because they are currently leading among Ga Adangbe groups, 51-46. They are leading among the Ewe group, 47-41. They are leading among the Bani group, 52-48. If this turns out to be true, then MPP will win the seat. But if these people don't do what they said they would do on election day, MPP will lose.
Well, it's just a poll, right? You are picking information, so you don't decide that, right?
No, I don't decide. But what I'm saying that if they vote the way they told us they're going to vote, it's proportional.
Okay.
If MPP candidate wins Ga-Dangbe group, if they win the Ewe group, if they win more the Gani group, and they're already ahead in that can, there's no way NDC will win the seat.
Yeah.
But if it takes another way, then it could be a different story.
Yeah. My last question, I'll pose same to my panelists, but first we'll go to you before I let you off. Because what I've learned from your polls is that sometimes you have certain inferences that tend to influence indicators, the overall choices that people will make. And you know that the MPP seem to have gotten itself in this situation where they are deciding to have their presidential primaries in December. So you find that key leaders in the race are trading tirades, vulgar language among themselves from all camps. I call it, I'm using the local parlance in Accra, Bos Bas, all right? Now, those bars, the bombs they are throwing, how is that going to affect the factions or the supporters on ground, just in case?
You know, they should be very careful in how they attack or defend themselves in these internal primaries. There's life after primaries, and they shouldn't make that life very difficult for themselves. They have to be moderate in how they attack each other, because you need total unity to win the election against any NDC candidate. If these fractures are really showing up the way they are, and people are not forgiving after the primaries, then I can't see how MPP will govern themselves again for the next election.
All right, thank you. You always don't say much on these issues. I wish you well for the day. Executive Director for Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa. And Adam,
Yes.
NDC is losing so far, according to Global Info Analytics, the most trusted election research source so far.
Well, let me say good morning to our brother Musa Dankwa. One of the reasons why it is important to always do a research or survey into an election is also to inform your strategy. I say that an hour in politics is such a long time where a lot of things can change. And so whatever recommendations Musa Dankwa or whatever report that he got from the ground in his research is not cast in stone. We will study it, look at the areas where he thinks that we are not doing well and work with it so that we can win the election. And so until the last ballot is counted, Roland, you cannot conclude that the NDC will lose Akwetia. I know that we are doing a lot to win that seat. Just yesterday, I saw that the Chief of Staff of the Republic, the Chief of Staff went to Akwetia with almost every party stalwart. I saw our former national chairman, the Honorable Fusuan Pofo. I've seen the Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opariado. I've seen the Youth Wing, the Green Army. They have also moved to the area to campaign. I've seen members of parliament are mobilizing to go there, led by our own chief whip and many others. It tells you that even though, like Musa said, in terms of numbers, we may not necessarily need the Akwetia seat, but we want to bring Akwetia to the majority side so that they can also experience good governance and leadership. And so we are doing everything possible to have Lawyer Bediako win the seat. And so his research, yes, we have taken it in good faith. We will not condemn him. We have seen that over the period, he has done a great job in maintaining credibility with his polls. We cannot always agree with him, but sincerely, I must say Musa Dankwa has, over the period, earned for himself the accolade of being one of the most credible pollsters that we have. It is not always that his research will favor us, but we have taken it in good faith, and this should rather be a motivation for us to go and work hard. And so let me tell Musa that, yes, we respect his polls, but we will take his findings as a motivation to go and work harder so we will turn the results in favor of the NDC. But you asked a question about the internal issues of our opponents, the NPP. Roland, and on a day like this, we remember fondly Dr. Edward Kofi Omani-Boama. He had a profound phrase that he will always say whenever we're confronted with challenges within. He will tell you that organize, don't agonize. We have seen, Roland, that our opponents are at each other's throat, throwing tribal bullets at each other and what have you. But the most interesting thing in all of these internal challenges or chaos that the NPP is experiencing is the fact that some of the things that they accused NDC of, some of the things that they accused us of, some of the things that they said that we were behind and that they were lies, they were propaganda, They are the things they themselves are saying now. For example, over the weekend on social media, recall when Malik Basintale raised issues with some practices. I don't want to repeat them. That some things that he said Dr. Bawumia was engaged in, even as a Muslim. They came hard at him. In fact, the MPP, the kind of things they did to Malik over that issue. You recall these issues around alcohol, pork, and other things. Those conversations, alcohol, like I said, I don't want to get into it. Those are things that the way they came hard at Malik Basintale. But today on social media, MPP folks are throwing, I mean, they are accusing Dr. Bawumia, and I mean, they are accusing each other of some of these things. Look at Dr. Brian Achampong. I have met him in Parliament. When the Ayawa Sowers who gone by election violence occurred, and the NDC accused him of being the mastermind behind the chaos, the NPP denied. But today, NPP folks have printed a flyer calling it 10 sins of Dr. Brian Achampong. And one of the things, but it is the first thing they stated, that he masterminded the Ayawa Sowers who gone by election violence, that people were butchered, people were shot, and all of that. So all of a sudden, the things that they said we were lying, the NDC was lying, it was propaganda, they themselves are now throwing it at that they are saying it, they are revealing it. So time has really vindicated us in the NDC. Recall the issues about buying of hotels and how they went after Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Look, within that period, because I have worked with Honorable Ablakwa, the way the NPP came at him, accused him, insulted him, look, denigrated him for calling out Dr. Brian Achampong in his attempt to buy the SNIT hotels. Today, MPP members, people close to Dr. Bawumia and people close to Kennedy Ejapon and co. are the people mentioning that when he had the opportunity as a cabinet minister, he wanted to buy state hotels. So all of a sudden, it is no more an NDC propaganda. So we are taking notes. We are taking notes because all the things that they described as lies and propaganda from us are being re-echoed by them. And they are saying it so loud that we have the receipts. We are keeping the receipts. Today, if it was the NDC that accused Kennedy Ejapon of being reckless or being, say, irresponsible in his commentary and what have you, they would have come after us. And those are the things that they did in the past. But today, it is the NPP, some executives, leading members, some even former appointees who are calling out Kennedy Ejapon and using some of these words to describe him as a tribal bigot, an irresponsible man, and what have you. So for me, the only lesson, key lesson, profound lesson I am learning in this MPP internal contest is that time is a true revealer of things. And this time, the internal contest is vindicating the NDC. Because, Roland, these are things we said in the past, and they said we were lying, they called us names. But today, they are the ones throwing these things at each other. We are taking notes. We are keeping the receipts. And at the right time, we will use them. Finally, again, when we said Dr. Bawumia was incompetent, he could not run the economy, and that he messed up Ghana's economy, and that given the opportunity, he will mess the economy more. We saw what they did, haircuts, subjected Ghanaians to buy forced haircut, proper haircut on our investment. Even retirees were not spared in the wickedness in the execution of the economic agenda. They said, oh, you know, Dr. Bawumia was economic whiskey, and they touted him as, not part of the mess. So they tried pushing all the blame on His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, and they trying to delink Dr. Bawumia from the mess. And so anytime anything good was mentioned, Dr. Bawumia takes credit. And then when it comes to the mess and the challenges, the failure of the government, they say, oh, that one was Akufo-Addo. But today, MPP members, former appointees, members of parliament, former ministers are the ones telling us that Dr. Bawumia is so incompetent and he cannot manage the economy. After the primaries, let none of those people turn back and come to tell us that Dr. Bawumia is competent. Because we are taking notes.
Well, if he's the one chosen, you have no choice.
No, if he's the one chosen, don't come and polish him. Because in this contest, you are telling us that he was a mess of an economic manager. And so, if he emerges as the winner, don't try and come into, polish him now and make him look like he's somebody who can manage the economy. All I'm saying is that, Roland, whatever they are saying about Dr. Bawumia now, they should maintain same after he is elected. Whatever they are saying about Brian Achampong, they should maintain same after he is elected. Whatever they are saying about Kennedy Japan, and I believe Kennedy will win. When he wins the elections, the same comments that the MPP members are telling us that he is reckless, he is irresponsible, he is a tribal bigot, those are the things we'll see on the billboard for 2028. Let nobody attempt to clean up the mess of any of the candidates that we met from the internal primaries, because whatever they are saying about them now, Roland, that is what we are taking as the indubitable
Well, the NDC is
truth.
taking note of the sidelined campaigns that seem to be influencing public opinion when it comes to the presidential race of the party and the jabs they are throwing at each other. How should that influence Akwetia or not? Whether the members of the party, the sympathizers will think that, look, we don't feel bothered at all. We're still confident that we'll still want to head to the polls and it won't affect our choices we'll make.
But it should influence Akwetia.
It should. Why should that lawyer Pierre Dankwa?
The character of the party should influence the choices the people of Akwetia make. You see, during the MPP primaries, during the last time when His Excellency Dr. Bawumia won, Honorable Dr. Brian Champong made a profound statement. He said that the spirit of the party had chosen for the MPP His Excellency Dr. Bawumia. And I recall that time I said that if the spirit of MPP can choose a candidate who will not only represent MPP, but will represent the entirety of Ghana. Because when you become MP of Akwetia, you are not just MP of the MPP members. You are MP, you are representing every single person of Akwetia, like my brother Edem. Edem isn't just representing the NDC members in his constituency. Yeah. He's representing every single person in his constituency. So that if the spirit of the MPP is going to choose that person for us, then we need to interrogate what's called that person. The spirit of the party. It's very critical we do so. Now, when you consider the kind of things they are saying, as in, so what did Brian say? Brian, from what I'm understanding, said that His Excellency Dr. Bawumia was a victim of some of the tribal issues. Now, Dr. Bawumia is angry. Dr. Bawumia, during the campaign last year, said, I think he was trying to cut the Christian vote, said he was called Timothy. He said he was called Timothy, and that he attended some Methodist boys something. Methodist boys guild. I'm surprised they didn't send him to infantry school. I'm saying infantry because infantry, apart from their red shirts, which I like because I'm an ardent supporter of Kotoko and Liverpool, I like red. Also have a profound motto. Dream, share, kind. Very profound motto.
Okay. What has that got to do?
You need to think deep, think ahead. Clearly, Dr. Bawumia didn't think ahead when he was making some of the statements based on the foundation of his campaign during MPP's primaries. What was the foundation of his campaign? What was the foundation of his campaign? The foundation of his campaign was simply Kufuor has dropped his 10. Kufuor Buzia has dropped his 10. Dankwa has dropped his 10. It's not the 10 of Dombo.
Why not?
That was now.
Why not? He could still use that.
So what was the premise of that? The premise of that argument is a tribal premise. It's a premise that simply.
Why is that tribal? He's talking about blocks.
No, I'm coming. What blocks? He's saying that.
Dankwa, Buzia, Dombo.
Okay. So Buzia, who are the Buzias? So per that argument, the Buzias were the Ashantis and the Bonus. No, so the Dankwas were the Achem, the Eastern Bloc, and the Dombos were the Northern Bloc. Is that not a tribal argument? That was fundamentally a tribal argument. Indeed, I've followed politics since 1992. And that was the first time I saw or I heard tribalism being the
he
foundation.
Says that the Dombo bloc hasn't won yet. So
having what? But that was the foundation of it. So, and Dombo, what does Dombo represent?
How is that tribal?
No. Who do the Dombos?
The Northern bloc.
No, and the Northern.
All the blocks have won. He says that the Dombo bloc has won.
So Dombo. So essentially, what he was saying that don't vote for me because I'm the most competent. Don't vote for me because I have integrity more than anybody else. Don't vote for me because I have a program which will lead to the transformation of Ghana. Vote for me because I'm a Northerner. That was, in essence, his campaign. That was, in essence, his campaign. So he himself put the fact that he's a Northerner to the fore. Also, did you not hear Baumia also say that they should vote for him because when they vote for him, he can assure them that he's going to bring all the votes from the north. I recall, he went to say somewhere in the Ashanti region, they're going to bring all the votes from the north. He's going to bring the votes from Wuta region. I'm not the one saying it. It was Baumia who brought that argument. Yeah, you understand? And he also added that he was going to win all the Zongo votes. So in essence, he's going to enter into the areas perceived to be MDC stronghold and take it from the NDC. I think that was the reason why Brian himself supported him at that time. Because Brian wants power. He wanted power. And he thought that if Baumia is a Northern Star, one, he's a Dombo and it's Dombo's time. And two, he can bring votes. He has some special one to bring votes. And then they go to this election. And there are about 30 polling stations. 30. Where Baumia had zero. He didn't get one. I'm coming. He didn't get one. He didn't get two. He didn't get three. He had zero.
So does it mean that it should be used against him? Is it his fault?
So now, when Brian was saying what he was saying, he was not stating an opinion, was he? Was Brian stating his opinion? It's not a fact that Baumia had zero in about 30 areas within the Kusak areas. It's not a fact. So one, if Dr. Baumia himself brought his tribe, premised his campaign on his tribe, he said it's Dombo's time. Baumia said it's Dombo's time. He's enough and I vote for him. Baumia said he's going to bring all the votes from the north. He had zero in 30 areas, 30. Brian was even charitable to him because Brian was indeed even defending him when he said that Baumia was just a victim. Well, that was the argument of Brian's case, that Baumia was a victim. But you see, for me, it tells you the character of the MPP. And that's why the people of Akutia must have that in mind. That this is a party that do not have principle. This is a party that's filled with familiar spirits. Because in this time and age, where we are as a country, if your consideration for why you want power is because of where you are from, and over the past 8 years, MPP, since 2009, they've sunk into this tribal mess. It's part of the familiar spirits I've been talking about.
Familiar spirits?
Yeah, I've been talking about that they have some character. One of the evidence of that familiar spirit character is the tribalism. Very, very tribal. Because how can you make a decision as to who will lead this country with all the problems we have been dealt with, with all the serious problems we have been dealt with? And your sole consideration, or one of your key or foundational considerations is the tribe. Because you heard Sir John, when he was instigating Baumia's campaign, that what Buze Dinidi, Dankwe Dinidi, Edu Dombo. Dombo, what is Dombo?
It's a nothing block. What is wrong with that?
I'm trying to get you. See, Ghana, one of the biggest achievements of Kwame Nkrumah, achievement that we are joking with, is the fact is Kwame Nkrumah's attempt to integrate a country that was essentially an amalgamation of various countries, of various tribes, of various cultures into one unit. And that's why when you read our constitution, one of the political agendas of this country is to create that one unit, that one Ghana, where what is most critical is our Ghanaians. Because when you go through history, every country is an artificial creation. You understand? When God created man, he didn't create countries and tribes, but we managed to create it. You understand? And when we decided to create Ghana, we realize or we recognize that we can't achieve a collective agenda as Ghanaians unless we find a way of amalgamating all of the various tribes into one. And that's why when you go to Achimota School, our motto is that all may be one. All of us. But unless we are one, unless we create a system where we recognize that we have a common agenda, and that our being Ghanaians is the most important thing, then we can fulfill our purpose as Ghanaians. And so where you have a candidate, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, who premises the reason why he wants to be president on his tribe. Father, he's a Northerner. There's no tribe called Northern. There's Mampusin. And then he goes to an election. And he gets zero. Shea.
But in this campaign, he hasn't said that. He rather, I don't know whether you've heard him.
So when
in his meeting with the caucuses of the MPP or the chapters in the US, he says that the candidates and those individuals who are contesting for this leadership position should not go on this tangent.
No, do you trust him? This is the Bawumia who, and you see, when you take our lives, it's full of chapters. In the chapter, I think 8 of the story of the New Patriotic Party, you had a candidate who said that the reason why he ought to lead the MPP it should be by reason of where he's from. That's what he said. Did he not say that? Because if you say Ebuzi has tried his own.
But what is wrong with that? I keep asking you what.
There's everything is wrong with that. Okay. There's everything wrong with that, because for you to even say that you have a party whose tradition is don't go Buzia, it's even wrong. And you understand? Please let me land on this. So, Dr. Bawumia, in the 8th chapter of the MPP, introduced the story of when President Kufuor wanted to be leader of. Did you hear him say that? Vote for him because I'm an Ashanti. When Prof. Eduwai wanted to be MPP leader, but when Dr. Bawumia wanted to be MPP leader, he said, vote for me because I'm Dombo, I'm from the north. He promised that vote for me and I'm going to bring you the votes from, and you go into an election and share from Abateti. So what's wrong?
Okay, this fire you are stoking this.
No, so what's wrong has Brian Echampon done? And you all know that I'm not a fan of Brian Echampon. You understand? What wrong has he done? By stating the fact, the obvious fact. And the obvious fact is that if you present Bawumia, if they present Bawumia, what is the guarantee that the share in the 30 police stations, share, not one, not two, share, in those 30 police stations, how is he going to manage to take the share when the conditions in that stated the share still exist? But beyond the tribal one, beyond the tribal issues, this is because Bawumia couldn't put to the fore his economic competence credentials. Why? Because whereas he was, let me state this and that's the last I'm going to say on this. Whereas he was started by Nanado to be the man who was going to, you remember to reverse the principle of the Hattarization of the city. You understand that principle?
The principle of Hattarization.
Of the Hattarization. Nanado espoused a certain principle. The principle of the Hattarization of the city.
You
understand? And then he projected Bawumia to be the person who was going to reverse the Hattarization of the city. What did Bawumia leave us with? He left us with a situation where our economy, the economy of Ghana, had lost credibility. He left us with the situation of the DDEP. He left us with an economy that was on its knees. He left us with a city that suddenly became 17 to $1. Understand? And so Dr. Bawumia shouldn't run away from these facts. He shouldn't run away from the fact that he's incompetent. He shouldn't run away from the fact that he's tribal. He shouldn't run away from the fact that he tried to also run a religious campaign and they backfired. And so he shouldn't vent his frustration on Brian, who was one of his biggest supporters. What Brian is saying is just stating the obvious fact.
Brian was one of his biggest supporters?
Yes, Brian supported him.
How?
So you know that Brian was one of Bawumia's biggest supporters. He deceived Brian. So Brian believed that, this man is going to bring us the north, and Brian supported him. It turned out that shame. So Brian has seen the light. He's realized that Bawumia can't help Ghana. He's advising the MPP. I don't know, but that advice won't take away the familiar spirits though. But when the people of Akwete are going to vote, they should know that familiar spirit, that spirit, that tribal spirit, is a spirit that chose their candidates, and so they should think twice before voting for them.
The segment of the sympathizers, supporters, members of the MPP in Akwete, do you think some of these conversations, of course, within the context of what they want to undertake, the presidential primaries, is going to be a distraction going into Akwete? And why should they not be having these conversations when they have a primary to win or a by-election to win?
Yeah, I don't think that the Akwete issue should have any bearing on the presidential primaries. And I think that the party itself, the MPP party, should be able to focus, on one thing at a time. In other words, deal with Akwetia, and when the presidential primaries also, it's about time, you take measures to also deal with it. So it's about the focus of leadership. And equally, what they should do is to ensure that, there is no conflict, unnecessary conflict, that would, as it were, be transferred from Akwetia to the presidential primaries. Roland, I feel that, when you check the history of Akwetia from 1992, 9 elections have been, conducted. And if you check from 92 to 2024, NDC has won 4, the MPP has won 5. And that tells you about the swing nature, of Akwetia. And that is to say that if you check the info analytics, survey, and you look at the dynamics that Musa Dankwa actually put up, it's quite interesting. But, one thing about election survey is not one of a conclusion. All right. If you are a researcher, you will know that if 2 individuals or 2 researchers pick the same data, using same variables from one particular company or even, in a constituency, obviously, by the time you are done with the analysis, you wouldn't get the same, results coming out. That tells you that respondents could vary their views and their opinions as and when the question is thrown at them. And that suggests that, you see, when you look at the dynamics of elections, there are some people who go into the ballot without a firm decision as to who they are going to vote for. So I think that Adam was talking about the fact that a lot of things can change, all right, which I think is true, and believes that at the end of the day, election survey conducted 2 weeks, a month to election. If you are not careful and you don't do the right things, it could change, and the table can turn against you. I saw this at Senoff, when the data that I had finally changed, and I wouldn't be surprised, because the difference between what I have and what Dankwa has put forth is not quite different,
So there's still a marginal lead by the MPP.
Exactly.
Okay. So the question then I ask is, could these sideline conversations be a distraction, so to speak?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that I don't see why it should be.
Okay.
I think I made that point earlier. All right. And I also emphasized the point that it's an issue of leadership. All right. So if the leadership can actually organize in such a way that they're able to control, some of these verbal accusations, and will not allow, some of these environmental issues, to affect them, then of course it will be very good. You see, one thing that normally happens, and that has been a recent phenomenon, which I think that posters in Ghana and across the world need to understand, is the fact that, the question that you asked, I'm putting in because of the question that you asked. Okay. Now, between myself and Lawyer Dankwa, we have a relationship, all right? But the question is that if Roland should come in to that relationship for us to become 3, what will happen to the existing relationship that I have with Lawyer Dankwa with the introduction of Roland? You understand? So we normally talk about external influences, that probably can change, a results, an electoral results. And so if you juxtapose some of these things into the variables that relate, you would see that the differentials could change if certain decisions are taken. All right. And if certain decisions are equally not taken, it could also trigger a failure. So those dynamics are there. And that is what both MPP and NDC should know going into Akwatia.
Okay.
All right. Now, what it means is that if the MPP doesn't control the narrative,
among
the discussions,
personalities,
exactly, the 3 key personalities in the race, and then they allow their differences, to hit Akwatia, then of course there will be division, and that division can change the results.
Okay.
All right. Now, you see, the issue between Brian and Dr. Bawumia, I feel that the accusation and the response were not needed in the first place. Why do I say that? My point is that both people are leading members of the MPP. Mm-hmm. They are leading members of the MPP. And whatever they say at any point in time gets into people, and it brings some kind of emotional responses, which, if you are not careful, could, not work for either of them. You see, for me, as somebody who has studied Ghana's elections and its narrative, I am tempted to believe and to agree with Lawyer Obri Buahin and Brian himself when they point out that, you see, the election, the 2024 election, and specifically with the Mamprisis and then the Kusasis.
You are going tribal.
No, I'm not going tribal. Why would I go tribal?
Oh, okay.
Let me
rephrase it. Okay. Are you going tribal?
Either of them is no. All right. No, I am only coming from that point of the fact that, you see, these are issues that have been thrown out there into the public domain. And these are arguments that are being debated between the 2 camps. All right. Now, you see, the issue about the Mamprisis and the Kusasis, where, the 2024 election resulted in the fact that Dr. Bawumia got 0 among the Mamprisis and got 0 among the Kusasis. All right. That thing should happen. It is obviously because of an underlying factor which he himself couldn't do anything about. And he can't do anything about it.
Should it be an underlying factor for which it should be used as a messaging to campaign against him?
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that point.
That would not be fair.
Yes, I'm coming to that point. So that's where I need to explain to our viewers, to know, certain things. All right. So my point is that, Roland, Dr. Bawumia himself is a Mamprisi, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, he is. And it appears that there is a traditional conflict in there. As a second gentleman of the state, is it logical, is it important for him to take sides when he's the second gentleman of the land? Obviously no. Why? Because whatever decision that he takes and decides that I am putting my party and votes ahead of the security of these 2 ethnic groups, could have triggered some kind of conflict which Ghana could have suffered. So it was very important that he doesn't respond to his own people, doesn't respond to the other party. All right? And so for me, it was an act of statesmanship. So I don't see any reason why somebody, I've listened to the tape of Dr. Brane Champong, and I think that what he said has gotten some level of misinterpretation from his own camp. And to me, I think that they are not doing justice to the communications, of Dr. Brane Champong. And it will not help in any way. I feel that, again, the responses by Dr. Bawumia, shouldn't have come. Why? Because he has put up some statistics, okay, in his defense, which is clear and it is in the data. But I feel that, again, his communicators are also putting up a certain, fight, which is equally not important. Because whatever he said and the interpretation that his own supporters are giving are very inconsistent. Okay. And so I believe that, when these two parties and their camps are throwing jabs at each other, okay, like Adam said, whatever is being thrown at each other today, remember, social media will not forget. All right?
The internet will not forget.
The internet will not forget. And human beings equally will not forget. All right? History, it will go into the history books. And so when it is 2028, whatever you said will be used against you. Is that not the language of the police? Okay? And I think that, yes, and I think that in 2024, the same internal communication, negative internal communication against each other between Dr. Bawumia's camp and Kennedy Japon's camp didn't equally help the MPP's campaign in 2024. And so the MPP should learn, their supporters should learn that,
Have you called them to tell them to
why would I call them? Who do I know? To call.
No, because you said as seen enough, you had the data and it changed, so I thought maybe.
Roland,
but
I am a lecturer, and I do
research,
politics, and I publish in.
Okay.
Just
wrap up for me,
yes,
so that we'll
I publish on political marketing.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay.
I don't know why he keeps interjecting any time that I'm talking.
No, because you've spoken for long.
Are you sure?
Really? Yes.
Yes, for a very long
Than
time.
everybody else.
Yes.
All right. Then I will land shortly.
Thank you very much.
And
So
what I'm saying is that I am a researcher. Okay. So normally I collect some of this data to help me in my publications and my teaching.
all right.
Yes, sir.
Researcher, data collector, and lecturer.
Is that the new title you want to give me?
No, don't worry. You're a friend of the show. Political strategy helps. George Alote, strong MPP, is watching currently. Good morning to you. But as I wrap up, 6%. How do you intend tilting the tide?
Well, before
2
then,
minutes.
I think that just let me spend 30 seconds saying that you just mentioned someone as a strong MPP watching the show. Roland, it's very interesting. Anytime I appear on New Day, the kind of calls and messages that I receive from my friends in the NPP, even though they claim they are no more, they've boycotted the show.
I'm not sure they watch the show.
No, they watch more than even our NDC folks. Because even as I'm speaking, MPP friends are sending me a message that
Read one, let me.
I mean,
No name. Just read one and let me.
there was a message that my brother, relax. Why are you firing us this morning like that? They are watching the show. And so it's interesting how they claim they have boycotted the show. But they are always, monitoring us on your network. But back to the issue of the 6%. Well, like I said, in every campaign, there are 3 key things that matters. Candidate, the message, and also the machinery that you put in place. We have a fantastic candidate. Pound to pound, when we compare the NDC's candidate in Akwetia to the NPP's candidate, the NPP candidate comes nowhere close to our candidate.
He's the chief of the town in terms of
Roland.
He's holding everybody down.
Roland, in terms of pedigree, in terms of messaging, understanding of the constituency and the current dynamics, the NPP candidate comes nowhere close to our candidate. So on that front, we are good to go. Messaging. because you are government of the day, it is usually very challenging for you in by-elections because then the citizens will place every burden, every challenge that they have before you. But with us, the truth is because we have just been in power for, say, 7 months, going into our 8th month, the electorates understand better that if there is any party that can solve the challenges that they are confronted with, it is us, it's the NDC. And also, the fact that we are in power, the electorates believe that when the NDC wins the elections, when they have a member of parliament from the NDC, it is easier for the person to lobby for development for Akwetia than having an opposition member of parliament. Because why would I go and vote for a candidate who will go and join a micro minority in parliament? And micro minority, because we have super majority. So they have micro minority. Less than how many MPs do they have? I think they have 88 or something like that. And so if you add one even to their number, it will not make any difference. So for the people of Akwetia watching us, your best bet is to have a member of parliament who belongs to the party in power, so the person can lobby for development better. The person can go to CEOs, can go to ministers, and it is easier to get your development needs met with a candidate from the party in power. Then lastly, the party machinery, I understand, has moved to the grounds. And so I believe that Musa's research, as credible as it may be, it came a bit too early. By 2nd September, when the elections will be held, I tell you, and I kid you not, the NDC will turn Akwetia green, and we will beat them with such a huge margin that they will not be able to recover, just as they are suffering to recover from the 2024 defeat. So, Roland, within this week, expect more action. The leadership of the NDC is moving to the grounds. And like I said, the Green Army, the youth wing, George Opariado is already there. Osman Ayariga is there. Ruth Sedo is there. And all our youth organizers, I saw Amos from Greater Accra, and many others are there on the grounds. Kobe Ballon and Co. Trust me, let Musa go and conduct a new exit poll by this weekend, and he will see that the NDC has turned Akwetia green. And indeed, on 2nd September, the NDC will win the elections massively.
I say Musa Dankwa. Lawyer Dankwa, what?
Pierre Dankwa.
Okay, Lawyer Pierre Dankwa. What Adam doesn't know is that MPP too, they have Blue Army now. You saw the Blue Army.
Oh, they are Blue Army. Their Blue Army can go and compete with them. No, their Blue Army can compete with our Blue Water Guards.
It's going to be a strong one, right? Just 2 minutes.
Blue Water Guards and Blue Army, they match. But against our Green Army, they can't come.
I'm speaking, I don't really care as to who wins.
Blue Army.
Except to say that. Except that to say that this is an opportunity for the police. This is an opportunity for the EC to redeem themselves.
Not repeat.
No. We don't want Abdelmanos. We don't want. There's an opportunity, and I think it is important. And for me, that's the most important thing going into this election. That we send a signal that the police are ready and willing to fight to protect our safety, also to protect the integrity of the elections. And finally, to add that, I pray that the MPP are careful, because they should check their polling agents. In this 30 places where Bamia had 0, they had 5 polling agents as executives. Oh, I'm just telling that they should open their eyes. Okay. Because maybe, as we've seen before, 5 executives, if it happens in Akwetia, it won't be good for them. But if you push me to the wall, based on the characters of the two parties now, I'll say that they should go for the green.
Okay, so what would you expect after Ablekuma North, the commitment of security, deployment, etc., and then the Electoral Commission?
Yes, I think that stakeholder engagement and cooperation is very important in this election. And so I expect the Electoral Commission, the Ghana Police Service, the 2 major political parties and their leadership, as well as the people of Akwetia, should come together, to ensure that there is peace. No life is put, in jeopardy, and everyone has that kind of freedom, to go cast his or her ballot and go home. I would appeal to the leadership of these 2 political parties that this issue about voter intimidation, voter suppression, should be a thing of the past. And then they should focus on issues of development as a campaign message to the people of Akwatia. Because if you realize and if you've studied the demography of Akwatia, obviously development is lacking and Akwatia needs development.
Okay. Yeah, big mining town though. Thank you very much. The three of you, you wanted to give some shout out at them, Magbana.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say
you had
that
2 minutes.
the
You
Blue
took 5.
The
Blue Army. You wanted to say there's Blue Army. MPP also. So New Day Katukwekwe, Zilis Dwayne in the UK, Kwesi Mensa Yao February, and David Labet. I see all of you. Somebody is asking, is how Akumsing going to? That's Kwabananto. Is how Akumsing going to Akwatia? I don't know. And then Prince Smart then replies, you will go and meet Jackie Chan there. Okay.
Is he custody?
The diver, eh? Okay. Jefferson Kudok that says that. Okay. It says the Afafanto man speaks the truth, though. Okay, he's unmatched. All right. And then Ebenezer also says you are his lecturer. That is you as well. We'll read an LPM to you very soon. We have Cashout. It goes with the short code *439#. Choose option 2 as many times as you can. Increase the number of tickets you have. Prince Naniao York says that, listen, Roland, 0 means 3. That is what it is. Okay. And then Georgia Lotte also says you were the lecturer. What is MUCG? Oh, you taught there as well. Okay, and then has something on Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Georgia Lotte, thank you for your message. Bright Apia is Executive Director for Child Rights International. Great man, great guy as always. And then you could have said we don't have Blue Army in the world military, but we have Grey Army as the NDC is having. Okay, somebody also says. Ismaila Horoya also has sent a message. But in the meantime, thank you, gentlemen, for passing through. And since it's time, we'll also have to tell you why you need to look smart and fashionable. And as always, become one of those who will always cherish Woodin, because Woodin is telling you that you have to visit any of their boutiques nationwide because they present to you beautiful and authentic fabrics and colors and designs for both men and women. Now with Woodin, you can get creative and versatile with your designs. And all you need to do is to make sure that you feel confident, you feel truly African, become one of those lucky winners, and follow Woodin Fashion on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and where else you can find. And this one is coming from Prosper. Says this examination body should stop destroying the future of children. They have to put their house in order. This is a national security threat. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Roland.
All right. I wish you all the best for the day. We have sports up next. And again, we told you for our conversations and so far, Eyes on the Road, we're taking you to Sofo Line. And Ibrahim Abubakar will be bringing to us live what the conversation is, the state of the projects as we've ever seen it. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.